Hey, great Wednesday evening. It is a beautiful evening period in Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan. I actually like the name Teotihuacan. It was funny because my sister came with us for some unknown reason, and we came in separate planes because she didn't get a plane ticket early, and she gets to Mexico City Airport before we did, and gets on a taxi and says, "Queremos ir a Tenochtitlan." That's a big difference, and they didn't know what the hell she was referring to, but she finally got it right, and they brought her to Teotihuacan. I kind of wish that they would have sent her to Tenochtitlan at this point, but she's here, and a couple other people here. But I think they've gotten used to the. I do my own type of thing. I'm not much of a hey, let's hang out together. It's just not my thing. How you doing, Frankie?
Good evening. Doing pretty well. Just having to deal with traffic. It seems as if Boca Chica is always a mess. One of the busiest streets within our city, uh, and it's always congested. But other than that, it's been beautiful weather here in the city of Brownsville. It started off as a warm morning, and then throughout the day, shortly around lunchtime, it was a nice little breeze. Everything on my side of town is going well so far.
Well, they were supposed to. Well, two things. They were supposed to get a cold front, weren't they? Today or last night?
I thought it was for tonight. I
Oh,
wasn't
tonight.
expecting it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the cold front to hit today. But again, we'll welcome it. It was a nice and breezy day. It was a beautiful day, actually. It was a beautiful day. But I personally, and I am the weather expert. I myself wasn't expecting it.
Qué raro. And in regards to Boca Chica, let me say they closed down that area close to Four Corners, and it was kind of trippy because someone sent me a picture and said, "Hey, what the hell is going on with Four Corners of Boca Chica? It's just a mess." And I said, "I know this might be hard to believe, but PUB," and it's like they're in everything, everything that's like screwy with the city of Brownsville some way, shape, or form involves or includes PUB. And, it's unfortunate, but, uh, but it's still factual.
It's tough whenever our own entity is. It seems as if it's working against us. But what I do see them, because that is my daily commute, Erasmo. Boca Chica to Four Corners, and it is before it was a four-way lane. Now it's a two, one way going, one way back. I do see work being done on the side of the road, and I think I did read that they are installing. I forget what it was, but I do see them working. I believe you received a message not too long ago stating that no action is being done, maybe over the weekend. But I think this is going to go on for at least until December, if I'm not mistaken. So if you are in the area, if that is your daily commute, if you frequent the area, be prepared. Uh, we've already seen numerous accidents in that area, unfortunately. So, with the weather, with people being impatient, um, please try your best to stay sane, especially in that area.
Yeah, it's accident prone anyway, on a normal day. But on a day when the weather is kind of iffy, when they're doing some type of construction there, it just augments the probability of it being a not so great day for anyone that's deciding to run it. Let me say that one of the things that I've shared out there is I'm basically done with Boca Chica Boulevard. Right after they did that the median thing, I just refuse to go. The only reason I get on Boca Chica is when I'm going to Greased Monkey to get my oil changed. That's the only time I'll ever get on Boca Chica. You know, and most of the time, when I'm going to the thrift store, I just go through the back streets and then come back on McDavitt and head back to my office. But since the median went up, I still don't understand how it's a good thing. And I know people are out there going like, "Well, it's great, it's wonderful." It's not great or wonderful for me. I used to, turn right. No, I used to drive down from the expressway when we were going to Lotus Cafe or Lotus Inn or whatever, I can't remember what it's called, because it was the political place to go for lunch. And now you have to do like a big old U-turn over there by McDavitt and Old Port Isabel Road to come back into Lotus. So I'm sure that they're not happy, with it being that way. So I just avoid it. Now with what they're doing, mucho menos. Don't plan to go on there for a while, a long, long while, as a matter of fact.
I like how you say McDavid and not McDavid.
Well,
But in your defense, tomato, tomato. Uh, uh, my friend. Today, if you haven't checked it out, Barbershop Talk con Roel, is airing every Wednesday at 12 p.m. My friend's name is Roel, and I called him Royel, and he was quick to call me out. But hey, McDavid, tomato, tomato, se entiende.
but it's McDavitt.
It's
I've called it McDavid all my life. Someone corrected me. I don't remember if it was Commissioner de las Chanclas or someone corrected me in regards to calling it McDavid. And then
a
I know
Erasmo, it's like us Mexicans, no, we le inventamos, like the famous Mexican bottle, or the famous bottle that everybody likes to drink, Bucanas, is
Bucanas.
actually Buchanan's. But us Mexicans, we convert it into our Spanglish, and make it part of our own. And I think it's like a Swedish or Scottish whiskey, if I'm not mistaken. But again, McDavid, tomato, tomato, Buchanan's, Bucanas. It's understandable.
Yeah, and that's the first time I ever heard that it's from some other place. I always thought it was from Mexico.
No, it's it's
Bucanas.
it's not. It's Buchanan's.
I never was much of a Buchanan's drinker. I think every so often, once in a blue moon, whenever anyone had any, because it was just too pricey to purchase. So I never was a big fan of Buchanan's.
There you go.
Uh, Never had so many surges. I got that today. Someone sent in that message that there was a bunch of surges going on throughout the city. Uh, Again, I'm not in the city, so I and this that's one of the things that I think that I talked to Frankie about, or someone. I talked to someone, I can't remember, but it's really hard to connect when you're out of town to what's going on, on a daily basis there back at home. This is one of the difficult parts of doing a show when you're out and about. Besides the fact that, like last night, I really wanted to come on last night, and just the internet was like crap. And that's one of the things that you have to put up with. I have this individual that wants to come on and talk about Brownsville Police Department, and it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened because I'm stuck traveling in these places where internet is very, very choppy. But aside from that, not being there physically or physically, uh, really, really affects the mindset when you're trying to talk about what's going on. So, did you read up on that on the surges going on, or did you experience any?
Of the power going in and out.
Yeah,
Uh, I I did hear about that, and I'm guessing because of the wind. But just this past week, was it this weekend where many people were without electricity, and it wasn't that cold, it wasn't that windy. It just goes back to the freeze. What's going to happen if we have another freeze? It seems as if our electrical power grid, either through the state of Texas or here locally, is not able to sustain this type of weather, and that's because it wasn't even that serious. So I did hear, and you posted of certain areas throughout the city. I'm not sure if today or yesterday, that we're experiencing these surges. But you would think that we would be more on the ball of these things, but it's kind of hard whenever it's weather related. But you know, it's Brownsville.
It's Brownsville. Yeah, and it's very unfortunate. Uh, yeah, recount, Frankie. I'm not in town. I haven't gotten any word in regards to what the next steps were for today. Have you heard, or did you get an update?
Yes, the poll watchers and with the elections department have already sorted out the ballots according to their precincts. So tomorrow morning is when we will start counting, or where the poll watchers will start counting each ballot by hand. And remember, it is over 30,000 ballots that they have to count. So some people that I did speak to, I said, is it possible for y'all to complete or go through 30,000? They said it is possible, just depending on how late we stay. But with more anticipation, everyone anticipates Friday morning, Friday before lunch. But we might get word tomorrow, late tomorrow evening.
Well, that's good news. One of the things that I think that everyone, even the individuals that are going, that whoever's going to be sworn in on the BIZ board, and the current BIZ board, I'm sure that they would appreciate just getting this over with, and getting to work. As is right now, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If I understand it correctly, Denise Garza continues to be the board member. She hasn't been sworn in, but she is going to continue to be at the meetings in her full capacity until, or if this recount proves that Victor Caballero actually won the race.
That is correct, and many people had questions. Are we going to see another Marisa Leal, Minerva Peña situation where it's going to drag out in the court system? We just got a word today officially that Adam Hinojosa, the Republican candidate for the Senate, is requesting a recount if he hasn't already. So that is in the works as well. But it's just very telling how these individuals, were heavily invested in this race, and they feel as if there was some funny business here in Cameron County for the BISD race and Mr. Adam Hinojosa throughout his district. So it's going to be very telling in these next couple of days and weeks how all this unfolds.
One of the things that I think that I saw on social media, I think Roman posted that like some 3,500 Republicans had not come out to vote this time around here at the county level, at the local level, and again, Republicans continue to shoot themselves in the foot. Individuals not coming out to vote, having the power to go out there and do something. What really pisses me off about the party is that they're always bitching. They're always complaining about Biden and the gas prices and everything else that's happening, open borders, and they're so focused on a lot of the issues that are national issues that they tend to shy away from the local issues.
Think we lost them. Let's see the count. PUB. There you are. Are you back? I can hear you. If that's the case, if the Republican Party, oh, you're on mute. Unmute yourself, rookie. Is this your first show? I think you're having audio issues. I can't hear you. If that's the case, if the Republican Party here locally had over 1,000 people that didn't vote, uh, that could lead to many assumptions. Midterm elections, not a lot of people come out to vote as compared to presidential races. I myself was a candidate during the presidential race, and we got well over, I would say, close to 40 some thousand voters. Here locally, we did see a large number of voters come out for the BISD race. Again, a lot of people were heavily invested in in these races, and as we should always take part in the electoral process. But to state that over 1,000 Republicans didn't come out to vote is very telling, because I am of the belief, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. I am of the belief that Republicans usually they wait, they don't vote, they don't come out for early voting. They prefer to come out during election day, and many insiders that I spoke with during this past campaign were saying, you know what, we're not getting a lot of Republican voters based on them phone banking and making sure and calling and checking to see if their if their people that came out to vote were in fact going out to vote. But if that's the case, at Asmo, if over 1,000 Republican voters didn't come out to vote, uh, that's sad, because we would expect them uh, to take part in this midterm elections.
I don't know. It's just really, really frustrating. And again, one of the things that they are so irritating, they're so irritating because they talk about, they want change, they want to affect change. And then when you really, really get down to the nitty gritty, there's so much infighting that nothing ever gets done. And again, they would. I think I shared this. I had a discussion with one of them, who on election day starts going out. Well, I don't like you because you have that cheese that page, and I literally, and it was down this little group chat, and I said, "You're a moron. You're an imbecile. You're stupid." you know, because they just don't get it. And a lot of times, I get this thing from individuals going like, well, if you really want their vote, maybe you shouldn't be calling them stupid. Well, they are stupid. Anyone out there that would shoot themselves in the foot, again, it's called, what is it? Bite your nose to spite your face. Is that what it is?
I've
Bite
never
off
heard
your
that.
nose. Huh?
I've never heard that.
Bite off your nose to spite your face? You never heard that?
Nope.
¿Estás bien burro? Bite off your nose, bite your nose, spite your face. Am I right, guys? Is Susan should know. Shoot. Susan, is it
Yo,
is it bite your nose to spite your face?
it's not bite, it's cut off your nose.
Are you sure?
Yeah, cut off your nose to spite your face.
Frankie, you heard that one?
No, you no.
¿Estás bien burro?
Yeah.
No, but there's without unity. This is one of the things that really, really frustrates me. Without real unity, nothing is ever going to happen here locally. And one of the things that I'm hoping that more individuals get on the bandwagon is everyone wants to bitch and complain about PUB, wants to bitch and complain, and they become these social media warriors. It's not enough. It's not enough. And a lot of times, we'll get the questions in regards to like, well, how did it go at this meeting? How did it go at that meeting? It's not enough for you to come on social media and to come on these shows and ask the questions. You have to put boots to the ground. You have to go out there. You have to get ready to get a little bit down and dirty, and you're going to have to invest a little bit in it. Look, I'm tripping that as of right now, we don't have individuals out there pouring out, breaking down with some cash. People need to break down with some cash, and people here locally can't expect for a certain small little group to do everything for them. Break down. I think Susan broke it down in regards to the open records request. Guys, $10, guys. Give me a break. I mean, you're bitching constantly on social media. It's got to be worth more than $10. You know, break down with some money for the open records request. Break down with some money for that. And it's an amazing painting that that we're raffling away in order to put up a billboard. Let me tell you, uh, I want that painting, so I'm going to go out there and buy as many tickets as I want. But I don't want to, I don't want to just go out there and do it all by myself. We can't. The community needs to get involved any which way they can. And breaking down with some cash in regards to these things, it's not a lot. So anyone and everyone out there, if you're willing to donate and you don't want your name to come out, just tell me. Send me the cash. I'll put my name to it. And then if I win it, I might just give it to you. Maybe.
Mhm.
I like that painting.
Yeah, I still need to
No?
buy numbers on that one.
What?
I still need to buy the numbers for that one.
Yeah, I got 10. I'm actually planning to buy 10 more next week. But I love the painting. And unlike Frankie, I'm a connoisseur of art, you know? Este, I love art. It's kind of trivial. And real quick before we go into the CRC committee today, but I actually was walking around this little town, this pueblito, here in Teotihuacan, and I was trying to find a coffee shop because I was desperately wanting a cup of coffee, and I couldn't find a coffee shop to get a cup of coffee. So this guy at the taqueria goes, no, hombre, allí, en donde está una puerta abierta, they'll sell you the coffee. And I go like, okay. And sure enough, it was this little rinky-dink house that opened up their garage. And, I bought a cup of coffee and a waffle. I think I actually took a picture of the waffle. I put it up. But it was so cool because they had this vinyl thing that someone had made of Jim Morrison, The Doors. Did y'all see that on my page or not?
No, I don't think I saw it yet.
Y'all don't watch my page or what? But anyway, but it was on there, on the wall, and I said, "Oh my God!" And it was the same photo shoot of the Jim Morrison lithograph that I have it hanging at my office, and that lithograph is a Joel Brodsky. There's only 5,000 of those. It's signed by Joel Brodsky, the actual individual that did the photo shoot. It's amazing. So I told the lady, I said, "Can you sell me that?" It's an amazing little vinyl thing of Jim Morrison. She goes, "El dueño no está aquí." I go like, "Well, just tell them that someone stole it, and here, let me give you $20 for it." But I'm actually going back tomorrow to the same place to see if they'll sell me that Jim Morrison vinyl little thingamajig because I love art. My Frankie's background right now, I consider that art. You know, have you've seen that, right, Susan?
Yes, I can see it.
I consider that art, and that actually cost us, the citizens of Brownsville, $150,000. Did you know that, Susan?
You told me. Crazy.
$150,000. And guess who owns it?
Hmm.
This guy.
Hmm.
That's my inheritance.
You're crazy. This guy owns it, and this guy bought it for $82.
That's crazy.
What a steal.
That's crazy. 82 bucks. But anyway, I don't want to focus on the 82 bucks. I want to focus on the $2. And Susan knows what I'm talking about. Susan and I have a little wager going, and we actually did it. I think last night. Was it last night or a couple nights ago after the
Yeah.
show? And I said, you know what? Nothing is going to come out of the CRC committee. And Susan seems to be a little bit more on the positive side, a little bit more optimistic, and says, no, no, something's going to happen. I said, nothing. I said, you want to bet? And I'm not much of a gambling individual, not like Frankie, but I did. We did put up a bet. We were going to bet $1, but I said, no, let's make it a $2 bill.
Yep.
So, how is the CRC committee today?
Oh my God, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I don't know what's going on with these people. Again, it was the same disorganized, not going by the agenda. Agenda items were weird. The work session was weird. Um, and I don't know. I I almost want to say that the the what do you call it? The commission should have just done it. The committee is just not getting it.
Well, you know, and I don't want to sound weird with this, but I've seen this happen constantly and regularly to the point where I've lost faith in any board and any committee that is out there that is put up there by the same individuals that have been lying to us, cheating us, and who are trying to double talk us. And even this CRC committee, I mean, it was voted, these individuals were voted on were selected by the same individuals that we have questions on, that we question everything that they do. So why anyone thought that these individuals, and then after we got the list of the individuals that were part of the CRC committee, I'm going like, nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. And I had hope that Vito was going to go out there and do the right thing and go out there and tell us something. And Vito's watching right now, and I love Vito. Vito's a great friend of mine. Love him to death. He's not going to do a damn thing. Love him to death.
If Vito said 10 words the whole 2.5 hours, I think I'm exaggerating.
And he's the chair.
Yep.
And again, and Vito, I love you to death, my brother. Love you to death. But again, you know me, if I think something's not going the right way, I'm going to call you out on it. Nothing is going to happen, and nothing is going to happen while you continue to play these little political games. And look, I think Susan put it up on her page today. I'm not stalking her, maybe just a little, but she put it up on her page in regards to what 36 committees and boards that we have here. 36 guys, worthless. And look, guys, worthless. And I'll go let Susan go. Worthless in the sense, and I know that there's some people on some of these committees that are great folks, but nothing is being done. We're not moving forward. We're constantly stagnant or moving backwards in a lot of these things because these boards, if you're on there and you're not part of the corrupt political machine, you are in the minority. The minority. And unfortunately for us, and Susan made mention of this, and then I'll let her go. She made mention of this when she said, well, Carlos Casco's out there fighting, putting up a good fight. He's just one. One. And the majority of the individuals on the CRC committee are puppets, are going to do what the city commission wants them to do, not what is in the best interest of the citizens, Susan.
Yeah.
And Susan, if I may very quickly, we did see Pat Almada at the meeting today, and Erasmo, you did post
Oh,
a
he was
story
there? I didn't.
regarding his a letter to the editor to the Run, in which he openly stated that, hey, this Tanasca fiasco was against my wishes, that he was openly against the Tanasca deal, but he was at the meeting today. He was actually sitting right behind the speaker. And my question to y'all is, he recently ran for city commission place
Two.
two, I want to think, against Jessica
Two.
Tetreault. Do you all
Two.
anticipate him being involved in these upcoming elections
Oh, yeah.
with all this mess?
He's running for mayor.
Really?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I say that just because of what he sent to the editor of the Run, to Juan Montoya. Just because of what he said, Pat Ahumada is planning to run for mayor. It's going to be a hell of a race, guys. Let me tell you. I think a lot of individuals are thinking that there's blood in the water, and they want to go out there and say, "Hey, guys, it's time to get out there and to vote." Uh, that was a clear statement that he's planning to run. And again, I think that there's going to be a lot of individuals that are going to be running for mayor of the city of Brownsville, me included. And I've already gotten calls from people who said Erasmo, but there's other people that I said, you know what? I don't care. We need individuals on, and it'll be a great race. I've heard that. I think Roman was the one that told me that Judge Cascos wants to run for mayor. That's great. He and I can have a sit down. We can go. But the more people that are out there speaking, you'll just have a greater platform in regards to chopping all these individuals that need to be chopped a couple of inches because nothing is being done right now. We aren't going anywhere. Nothing is going to happen until we get individuals on these city commission seats that are actually going to be there for the people, going to want to be transparent, going to want to share information, and aren't afraid, to put their names out there. So, what was your take on the CRC committee meeting, Susan?
They're making it more difficult than it is. It's real simple. I the work session. I don't know who requested this guy to come in from what was it, Estrada and Hinojosa, like the financial consultant that they have for PUB and the city, some consultant firm.
And BISD.
Oh, really? It's the
They're
same.
everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this guy, I don't know, been the consultant for 30 something years and comes in and the whole purpose behind him coming in was to basically, in a nutshell, discourage them from doing anything with the charter so that it doesn't affect the bond rating. The bond rating already right now for PUB is not good. And I mean it's in what, A whatever you want to call it, but it's negative, it says outlook is negative. Not to mention that Tanasca, they had already warned them against not doing Tanasca because of what was going to happen with the debt and debt ratio and all of that stuff. But they still went through with that. But here we can't amend the charter because my God, what's going to happen with the bond rating? You have a lot more things to worry about than a bond rating. I can tell you that, a
Yeah.
lot more.
When I read that article in regards to the bond rating and its suffering and stuff, let me tell you, and again, people may disagree with me. Guys, burn it all freaking down. Burn it all down, and let's build it back up again. It's going to it's going to have to wind up to be that. The same thing with downtown. Got to destroy it all and then just build it back up. You can't go back and fix something that is so severely broken, like our local government is. And the true and go back into Pat Ahumada's statement, Frankie. I mean, you read it. It was one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. We've been screaming about the same things for years. It's too broken now for anyone. And again, call me negative. I think it's just so broken now that nobody can fix it. And I've said this before. What we need to do is do away with everyone on every single city committee, board, and start anew, especially PUB. But what happens, Susan? You've seen this. They protect each other. I mean, tooth and nail. They're not going to get rid of the signs. They're not going to get rid of that other imbecile, that Langley chick. They're not going to get rid of any of these folks. And I am completely convinced at this point that that CRC committee is worthless. They're going to do nothing in regards to the charter.
Hmm. Well, they did already vote uh, on the appointment. So the appointments now are going to be done by supermajority. And they almost voted on the removal, but the issue with the removal is because of this bond guy's presentation. Um, they don't want to have this, like, I don't like you kind of attitude. I'm just going to remove you because I don't like you. And it happens to be three or four of them, and it becomes an unstable board. Um, and the Carlos made it very clear. He's like, let's just do at will. What's the big deal? With cause. What does it matter? Like, you're not going to have these, at least I don't think you're not going to have a bunch of commissioners go in and say, I just don't like you, I'm just going to remove you, and have a super majority agree with them. If you do it by super majority, which is the 5 confirmed votes, you're not going to have that. You're going to remove people because they need to be removed. It's hard enough. I mean, getting 5 of them is going to be hard. So it has to be a pretty just cause, I would think, for 5 commissioners to vote yes. So just have that on there. Same thing. You appoint them by a supermajority and you remove them by a supermajority. No limits. That's it.
What's y'all's take on having at least one or two commissioners sit on the board? Would that hold their feet to the fire?
I don't think it matters. I think the way it's set up right now is fine. You know, Golonsky got up there and I don't know if she's running for mayor, but she looked like she was campaigning instead. Um, she she went up there and said that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing by keeping an open and communication with PUB. You know, that it was already kind of in the charter that they could review financial statements and this and that, but they just don't do it. And you know that didn't look real good at all. Um, and besides throwing everybody else under the bus for not being at the meeting, and she was. I've never seen her before, but she was there today. um,
Well,
I
I, I, y'all
don't
have
think
a little bit.
commissioners need to be on, Frankie. I think they. What I do think though is I think that every big entity in Brownsville and the surrounding, like the port, like BISD, like the city, PUB, I think they should have quarterly, you know, get togethers or whatever, little meetings, call it what you want, you know, city involvement, city entity involvement, whatever. And they just need to get together and say, hey, you know, these are our projects that are going on and, you know, how's everything doing? You know, just why not? They're the huge entities, you know, with big budgets in Brownsville. Why can't they get together?
I,
We're still waiting on those town halls that we were promised by certain candidates,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
we at this point they're not going to happen.
speaking of town hall, the public meeting for CRC, the first public meeting is December 7th at Brownsville Event Center.
oh,
That's
I'll be there. I'll be there.
that's the town hall for that because they have to have two. That's the first one.
4, 5, 6. That's a Thursday, right?
I don't know. It's December 7th. That's what they said today. I'm not sure what day of the week that is.
It better not be Wednesday, Frankie.
It's Wednesday.
Oh God, no, it can't be Wednesday, is it?
December 7th is a Wednesday.
At what time? Did they say what time, Susan?
No, but it makes sense because today's Wednesday and this is when they have their meeting.
Oh
Uh,
God,
no, but it's probably 5:30.
5:30 is okay because I got church on Wednesday, but I could be there from 5:30 to 6:30. God Almighty, I hate when they do that. Let me say, I don't think that having commissioners on there is a good thing because take it to account that the city of Brownsville continues to use PUB as their petty cash little toy for any of their pet projects. So I think it'd be like double dipping, double serving. Again, there should not be a reason to have a board a commissioner on the PUB board. There shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of. Did we lose them again?
Yeah.
The whole purpose of appointing people is so that you don't have to serve on the board. They're supposed to be your, you know, an extension of you
Well,
as voted.
essentially, these PUB board members a la Science is kind of like a Tony Martinez on there.
Yeah,
My idea behind that is that we're able to hold them to the fire and hold them accountable because essentially what they're doing is they're using they're using people in their place to be their puppets.
yeah,
That is my reasoning behind it. Instead of saying, oh well, they're autonomous, they think and talk on their own and I have no involvement, which at the end of the day we all have a clear understanding that they are pretty much on those boards because of those people. So it just goes to show you that they're being used. And what's going to happen with Sandra Science, if anything? Obviously nothing, because none of these commissioners seem to feel as if there is a conflict, which on several pages and many Susan and Erasmo have clearly stated of the business association with former Mayor Martinez. That was just my mindset as to holding them accountable instead of saying, oh well, they're the board members, I'm not.
mhm. It was funny because they talked about the personal financial statements that I guess the PUB board has to abide by also, and that in those personal financial statements they should be able to see what the conflicts of interest are if there are any. And I thought, that's kind of funny because then that personal financial statement with Sandra would have been like highlighted, flashing red and green lights, but I guess that was overlooked. But it's, I mean, like I said, it's real simple. They're making it complicated. Um, just let's change the charter for the appointments. Let's change the charter for the removal of the board members. Let's change the charter for an application for any board or committee that has exposure or disclosing conflicts of interest, and then let's change it to oversee the salaries of the executive management of PUB.
So you agree with me that we need to do away with all these boards and committees?
Yeah,
Wipe them clean.
you know what? They have all those boards and committees, Erasmo, and they're not even updated. Like I have the packet because I did a PIR on it, and I have a whole beautiful. Oh, it looks beautiful. The packet looks great. It has what the board is and the title and everything, and then it has all the members and their terms and who appointed them. And I want to say probably half of them aren't even updated. So I don't even know if the boards. Well, just like this one, the CRC. It existed, but then it didn't, and now it does again. I think there are at least half of them are like that.
Uh, Vito stated, Frankie, that it wasn't Pat Ahumada that was there at the CRC.
He looked exactly like Pat Ahumada.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one that was sitting behind the speaker was the guy from PUB. That's, I think, Miguel.
He was sitting next to what was it? What was that guy? The health director. Erasmo called him a perrero one time.
Oh, that guy.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
He was sitting next to that guy.
Oh,
The one that I thought was Pat Ahumada. He looks exactly like Pat Ahumada.
my suggestion was to put the four district commissioner on the PUB board and appoint the remaining seats. No, you know, no.
What's the point? If you're,
Yeah.
you might as well just let the commission take care of it then, because they're supposed to appoint people to represent them, delegation, so to speak. Be an extension of them. Why are you going to put them on the board?
And I think and speaking for myself, we can all agree that the PUB board members have a lot of power. In this case, with the whole Tenasca fiasco, it seems as if the PUB board members have more power than the actual commissioners. So that is my reasoning. And again, I understand both of y'all's perspective in saying, well, it's kind of like they're double dipping, or they have more than one role when they should be separate and apart. But what is the best solution is to try and divest that power that these individuals have garnered for such a long time. So you mean to tell me
Well,
that the city commission can't do certain things to these PUB board members because of the charter? It just gets murky.
Yeah,
well,
that's
the the,
exactly what.
re- the reason that they have more power than the city commissioners is not so much because of their position; it's because of the money that they oversee. Take into account, PUB's budget is more than twice as much as what the city of Brownsville budget is.
Mhm.
That's what's crazy.
Heck, they're in
That's what
debt more. They have
what
million, 290 million in debt. That's more than the city budget. Imagine what the actual PUB budget is.
I think it's 375 million a
Wow.
year. So, I mean, how are you going to rein in and control someone that is more than twice as powerful as you are in regards to the finances? And this is why there has to be a clear oversight in regards to what they decide and what they do by the individuals that we have voted in. Because what happens is we can bitch all we want about Sandra Sines and Sandra Langley that are worthless, worthless on that PUB board, worthless. We can bitch all about it. We can't do anything about it, and they smirk at our face. They kick us out if we decide to record a meeting. They can do anything they want because there's no consequences to their actions, to what they do, what they decide, how badly they screw over the people of Brownsville. There are no consequences. And that is what the CRC committee was supposed to do, put in place consequences to this ill action or no action in regards to the corruption that exists. the corruption that was proven by the audit.
Not only that, Frankie, but I think, and Vito, that's a lot to put on a commissioner. You're already overseeing so many aspects of the city. You're already on some of the boards. I think now they've taken over a board or two. I mean, that's a big one. So that's two real big things. I mean, that those really should be separate.
Uh, do the boards need to be chartered? I mean, by appointed? What happens if the boards are out of compliance and not updated?
I think they're just.
Um,
I mean, they're.
not sure.
In other words, they're in existence in name only, but not really being operated.
Well, that's what happened with the CRC committee.
Yeah,
I mean, they were there, they just never did anything.
yeah.
And unfortunately, now they're there and they're still not doing anything. Waiting for my $2. They show, they showed Mr. Frankie, Mr. Erasmo, and Susan. Don't double dip the chip. I remember that Seinfeld, George Constanza one. That was a great show. We didn't like it when Tony Martinez was PUB ex officio and mayor. As well, Mendez, same position. Why would we want commissioners serving double roles? Do well, and let me tell you, I used to I used to like that the mayor was an ex officio member of the PUB board. You know, because in theory, it was supposed to be a good thing, because you'd have someone there that was in tune with the daily happenings at PUB. Unfortunately for us, we learned through the audit that they were twice as corrupt as the CEO and the other individuals in management because they were the ones that were part of the shenanigans in regards to taking this money from the citizens of Brownsville. And then there's no accountability. And then when you try to request, and look, this is what really pisses me off. There's no transparency. I don't give a rat's behind how many of these commissioners and the mayors, and they'll go out there and they'll try to get your votes and say transparency, transparency, transparency. And then when you try to force their hand in regards to, well, show us the documentation, then they go like, pay us more than $3,000. Why do we have to pay for what should have been given to us in the first place? Why do we have to pay, Susan, $3,000 for something that they should have been producing on a daily basis, regularly, in regards to what they were doing? Because they didn't think twice about increasing our rates, about taking our money, even after they knew that Tenasca was a flop. So now they want the individuals that are concerned in regards to what's going on with the Tenasca deal, who want to bring forward and bring to light that which they kept hidden. Now they want to, send a bill.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid.
I want to see how big that pen drive needs to be to fit 300,000 emails. Nah.
300,000 emails.
I'm gonna need a team of people just to go through them.
If you order doing it from the cart, PUB utility is ours. Uh, in theory, on paper, it really isn't ours. Unfortunately, Mary, PUB belongs to the corrupt political machine here. Damn, V, they have no confidence in you, man. Oviedo. No, I don't.
After
And
after today's meeting, I mean, I'll sit next to Vito on another show in a heartbeat because I was waiting for him. I was waiting and nothing. I mean, he was out of it. He was silent. He was asleep with his eyes closed. I don't know. I mean, asleep with his eyes open. I don't know what happened to him.
I love Vito to death. He's my friend. He's my buddy. But let me tell you, it's a crock of crap. This whole CRC is crock, redundant crap. CRC.
I'm trying to figure out the background on the girl. What do you know, Frankie? What she does, or who
Uh,
her?
I I have no idea. She's kind of like a mystery out of all the on that committee. She's the only she's a mystery one.
Well, again, look, call me a conspiracy theorist, call me someone who's being empowered by the pyramids, but let me say, guys, I think what has happened with the CRC, and Susan, I read your list in regards to eh, eh, great, bad, bad, bad. I think what's happened, Susan, is the same thing that happens at every other boarding committee here in the city of Brownsville. You're going to get the minority to be halfway decent folks. You know what I'm saying? But the majority are individuals that are manipulated and controlled by the corrupt political machine. So it doesn't much make a matter if you've got one or two or three good people on a board and a committee when we're getting screwed by the four. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, let's see how BISD is right now. They kind of flipped it, right? So maybe we can have some hope that the city can do the same.
Uh, well, we're going to find out
Negative.
in in May. But let me say, Frankie, you brought up Pat Omada. Frankie, do you think, and you didn't share information, do you think by what Pat wrote and everything else, do you think that Pat's running for mayor of the city of Brownsville?
It sounds like it. Somebody who did run previously, and he's gonna use this. You know, he's gonna use this as his platform. The "I told you so," and I was right then, and I'm right now. I think that's what's gonna be his platform moving forward. He's gonna try and use this to his advantage, and try and be the city of Brownsville's savior, and say, if it was if y'all would have voted for me, this wouldn't have happened. I think that's the route that he's going.
Yeah, but what pisses me off, and again, I like Pat. I like you, Pat. My thing is, where have you been all these years? You know, it's not enough, that you disagreed with it back then. I mean, we're talking about 10 years. Where were you these 10 years? Every day, every week, bitching and bitching and bitching about what was going on. Tenía que ser en recepción, caballero, hacer el cobro. Okay. Sí, ahorita voy. Tendría que ir a hacer para que ahorita llego. Okay. Where have you been all this time? Why is it now that, and again, because a lot of times, and let me say this, a lot of times people say, and Susan, you're going to get a little bit of this, I'm sure. Oh, what you're saying is political. You have intentions to run for office. That's why you're bringing this up, because I've received it. You're making this political. I'm not making this political. We've been speaking about this for years already. We're out here every day, if not every other day, bitching about the same thing because we want, and this is one of the reasons why we need to have that billboard up there, because we don't want individuals to forget how they lied to us, manipulated, stole, how they dangled that proverbial carrot, how they greased those wheels. Because people here in this city tend to forget. And this is why, as mentioned in Pat's saying, we get the bridge to nowhere. We get Imagine Brownsville. We get all these other little entities that continue to siphon and take away the resources that should go to the people of Brownsville.
Didn't he come out and say something when the Tabasco audit was released, or no?
No, one of the things that we shared in regards to Pat was what he had made mention. I think it was like 5, 7 years ago, Frankie. You remember that article?
I think he posted, if I remember correctly, Susan, I think he posted shortly after the audit report came out, that he posted that during his tenure, he was against it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's been lately, like at a PUB meeting. But
Oh,
shortly after the audit, he did post on Face, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. That's what I thought I had already seen something.
Yeah. So let me say, just let me say, well, one of the things that I think that we have been making mention in our little group out there, guys, is that we're still speaking to attorneys out there. And hopefully next week we will be meeting with an attorney who's going to share with us what are the next steps in regards to what the community of Brownsville can do in regards to Tenasca. And one of the things that I had, like, playing in my mind was, are we really trying to sue ourselves? Are we really screwing ourselves? But the way that it's structured right now, going back into Mary's comment, the way that it's structured right now, PUB does not belong to the people of Brownsville in no way, shape, or form. It is not there to help the people or the community of Brownsville. It's set up to screw us over. I have absolutely no faith in anything that is brought forth, placed forward by anyone on that PUB board. Anyone. I don't like anyone, even the good-looking guy.
Yeah, this meeting, there was a lot brought to light just in some of the things, and I don't know that they even meant to say half the stuff they were saying today because it was just so jumbled everything. But there was a lot of things that didn't really shine a good light on PUB and the way it's being um, managed at all. Not just the board, just in general. And we absolutely have no control over it. Right now,
None.
we have no control over PUB.
Nothing. It's not ours. Frankie, anything else?
No, happy Wednesday.
Susan, anything other?
I'm good.
Guys, break down with some cash. Break down with some cash. We need cash for the billboard. We need cash for the open records request, guys. Break down with some cash. Out of the 100 and some people that were on tonight, just break down with some $5 or $10, man.
Yeah.
We're going to do our part, and we're going to continue to do our part, and we're going to, put some money in the till. But guys, this is a citywide thing. Either we're all in this together, or we are going to continue to get screwed over by the same corrupt political machine that continues to set these people up on these boards and committees that continue to take our resources that should go to the people of Brownsville and then offer zero transparency out there, guys. So, guys, put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your fingers are on that keyboard and break down some cash. Send the money. If you send it to me, I'll make sure that it goes to whichever place it needs to go. But I think Susan has put up her Zeal and her Cash App account, and even a GoFundMe. I'm continuously sharing the painting and the Zeal account and the Cash App for Kayla, who's doing the painting thing. Look, one of the things that I've always tried to shy away from is receiving people's money. I'd rather not. But if you want to continue to remain anonymous in regards to breaking down with cash, break down with cash. I'll put it under my name, and I'll make sure that I know what numbers you got, and I might actually give you the damn painting. But breakdown, guys. Cash, guys. Have a great evening. We'll be back tomorrow morning. No, I won't be back tomorrow morning. I will be on a balloon, a hot air balloon going over the pyramids tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Frankie, where did we get this job?
I'm still searching for it.
Jeez.
Love y'all. Be back tomorrow night, guys, at 9 p.m. Guys, have a great evening. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, still believing all that crap. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.
Peace.